who was armed. Armed officers responded, with a 26-year-old man taken to hospital for treatment. Several roads have been taped off by armed police this morning in South Manchester to tackle a knifeman following a serious incident which left a man in hospital. Officers are on the scene. End Road in Burnage this morning, Friday, September 13th, after Greater Manchester Police were called to reports of a...
Should I ask, is there a better way to do things? Is there a better way of achieving the outcome that you want without causing yourself some potentially significant harm? Is there a better way of doing things? Have you ever asked that question? Have you ever learned you've been doing things one way for a long time and then you suddenly realise there's an easier way to do something and it's really easy? Have you ever come across an easier way of doing things? Have you ever thought of an easier way of resolving your potential conflict than picking up a knife or a gun or something that's gonna really take somebody else's life? And who gives you the right to do that? Is there an easier way of doing things? That's what I ask. That's all I ask you to think about. Is there an easier way to do things? Now, some years ago, a friend of mine owed a debt. And it was a big debt. And he said to me, set the scene, set the rapport, have the communication. And then the guy that owed the debt, and the guy that was the debt collector turned around and said, well, look, now that we've had our laughs and jokes and teas and coffees, which is absolutely fine, he says, well, let's get down to business. And the business is, when do you intend to pay the remaining sum of this debt, and by what date? And also we need to have a signature for you to be able to do this, because it's something that you owe. Guess what? The debt got paid through good communication. How we speak to people, how we communicate with people, the way we speak to people, the way we communicate with people, the way we decide to pursue what we want, which is our intended outcome. And the intended outcome is not achieved if we pick up a knife or if we pick up a gun, if we start stabbing someone. That's not the intended outcome. It releases a lot of anger, but it doesn't finish the job. It doesn't finish you getting to your intended outcome. Getting a gun and shooting someone, what's that going to do? What's that going to achieve? Getting people to do it with you and getting caught out, before you know it, you're locked up in prison. You're locked up in prison and there's nothing to do. And then you sit there and think behind these four walls, bricks and mortar and four walls and the metal cells, you think to yourself, well, if I'd have known I was going to be in prison for this long and get 10-year, 20-year stretch, I would never have done this. Or you calculate the risk in your head and you say, well, was it worth it? Because in the end it all catches up with you, and if it doesn't catch up with you one way, it does by another. If it doesn't catch up with you by karma, or if it doesn't catch up with you, somebody else is watching and they will catch you. It always comes back. Henceforth. All I'm going to say to you people that are carrying knives out there, all I'm going to say to you people that are carrying guns out there, all I'm going to say to you people that are planning on revenge and harming someone significantly, all I'm going to say to you is, have you wondered about a better way of doing things? Have you wondered? Can you wonder? I encourage you to wonder. And when you wonder, guess what happens? You wonder wondrous things. And that is the true art and knowledge of communication. But the whole idea is to wonder. The whole idea is to wonder wondrous things so that you can become more creative, so that you can get to your intended outcome. Just like this debt collector. Without causing anybody any significant harm.